because you're going in and trying to make those ends meet, because you probably never sit down and think, this is how much money my expenses are each month. If I could just go in and take a piece of that from trading, that's progress. Contrast that with, here's this course I'm teaching you, or watch my videos, or buy my course, or come to my workshop and learn how to make 50R, 20R. How does that equate to your ends? These individuals don't know how to make money. They're not making money. I promise you they're not. Because if they did, they would be proving it. And they don't. All I'm trying to do here is be a voice of reason and give you practical ideas how to apply what it is that I've taught you. Because you could still go out there and hurt yourself financially if you don't watch what it is that I'm teaching you here. And guard your mind. Guard it, because it's easy to sit in a demo account and think, well, I don't need to be at my job 6 months from now because I learned this skill set. And you have no idea what it feels like to be trading with a $10,000 account and watch it grow to a $50,000 account and then trade from a $50,000 to $100,000 equity. That's a growing stage that none of you, if you've never done it, understand what that feels like. And the leverage of putting on large positions versus what you start with. See, most of you are probably looking at these funded account companies out there and thinking, okay, it's only a couple $100 to get that if I pass the challenge, and you just blow it because you're doing what I'm teaching you not to do in this series. You're playing the lottery. So who's the real fool here? Is it the people that work all week and they pour their money into, like tonight, there's a big game out there that's $1 billion. The lottery, Mega Millions, okay? There's people out there that work all week long and they pour money into that kind of stuff. I don't do those things. I don't think that it's a practical approach to using your money wisely. But there's people that do that. Who is more of a fool? Someone that goes out and spends $10 or $50 a month in lottery, or the people that think, I'll save up, put up enough money to get these funded account challenges, a couple $100 here, $600 there, $500, whatever it is, I don't even know. But whatever that is, and you're going in there and you're rolling the dice. Not really doing what it is that you should be doing, thinking soberly about the risk, making sure that you're trying to do everything you can to protect your access to that funded account. That prop firm has rules that you have to stick to. If you don't stick to those rules, what happens? You no longer have access to that account. Now you can argue and say, well, you do really have that money. Well, I'll tell you what happens when a student does these things and they get withdrawals and checks that now they're spending the money. That kind of cancels out any argument whether they have really a $100,000 account or a $50,000 account or a $400,000 account. I'm not here to argue that. That to me is irrelevant. The people that are doing it and getting money from these companies, they're going to be the counterparty to the argument that you really don't have that money. You think these people care whether you think that they have that money or not when they're having checks and withdrawals and that's money that they're actually spending and they have access to? Nobody cares what everybody else is thinking when you're doing it. So I want you to go through your personal finances. I want you to be diligent about writing down everything that you spend and how much money you have coming in. Now, you may have a job like a waitress or a waiter and you do tips. That's going to be a variable amount. When I used to deliver pizza, and many of you probably don't know this, that are new, but I worked as a pizza delivery guy in the late 80s and early 90s. I managed a Domino's. Those were real jobs that I did. So I came up from that. If you've done things like that, you know that there isn't really any consistent number of what it is you're making because tips are tips. They're variable. Just get a baseline low end. And then anything above that is just a bonus, okay? But you got to write down what it is that you're having to spend each month and remove those things that you don't need right now. You're not going to miss Netflix. I'm sure you probably have a friend that would lend you access to it. And I'm not saying cheat them, but you know how it is. I know that stuff goes on just like you do. Those things can be trimmed off, okay? Besides, how much time are you pouring into other things that are not going to build you up? If you chose this path for your life, this needs to be second in line next to your family. So it's family and then this, because this is going to require